Hey everyone, it's me, Spencer. I'm very happy to be on camera once again. I know I've been away for a while, had a lot of things going on with me, working with Hecate or Hecate, however which way you want to pronounce it. It's fine by me, as long as you have that connection with that goddess or god, angel or demonic. It's quite fine because at least you know what you're working with and you're quite okay with it. Now, I thought that each month I'll continue this series of a pick a card or even a tarot reading to each zodiac sign. So we know that there's about 12 of them, right? So, of course, that would be a longer video than just a pick a card, depending. But, however, this is a type of series that I want to continue on so that I can help others not just benefit from, let's say, my meditation videos, or I'm going to start doing videos based off of my witchcraft, because as a male witch, I want individuals, excuse me, to benefit and be very well rounded in their craft, especially when I think about this channel and the direction in which it's going. Of course, there's meditations. I love that and all, but man, I also do a lot of tarot, and I know you're probably not used to hearing the word tarot, but however, if you're not used to it, do realize it's been such a long debate on how you pronounce it. Tarot cards, or whatever have you. But as far as I could remember, first starting out, it's pronounced tarot. But again, everyone's free to call it how you wish, as long as you know what you're talking about, right? But let's get started, shall we? We have three groups. Three groups are marked with oracle cards. So as you see on the screen, there are three groups starting from left to right. So group 1, group 2, and group 3. And these oracle cards and the tarot cards, which are underneath these cards, are there to help you to better understand what to expect in the month of October. Interestingly, now, when we think about that, I want to first say communicate with your spirit guides. Yes, if it's an angel, connect with the angel. If you connect with a deity, connect with Aphrodite and whomever that you work with, Zeus to Odin and whomever. And if you have to, please pause the video. These three groups of cards are there to help you. And as you are trying to resonate with which group that is best suited for you, do realize that as you are trying to resonate with these three cards, I want to tell you something a little bit about tarot. Don't take tarot as some cookie cutter or some manuscript, or take it as the Bible. It's like how I view astrology. In other words, when you look at it, see it as guidelines, not as some sort of manuscript where it has to be specifically this way, and if it doesn't, then you're screwed for eternity. The reason why I say that is because I believe in two schools of thoughts. You have one that's fate, and then the other you have that is free will. Fate, to me, to summarize, is like if you're born with a talent and you have certain, let's say, success and benefits that come with it. Like if you're a painter or whatever, you're born and you have that talent, you have certain success when it comes to that talent. So it's kind of like fate, because you don't know how you got it, you're born with it, and you could do good things with it. But then on the other hand, you have the other school of thought that is like free will. And free will is like putting yourself in that same situation, and you have this talent, but you choose to do something else. Baseball player, you be an archaeologist or something like that. The point is, using your free will, you deviate from that particular path of being some painter, and now you're some basketball player or something. And that's me summarizing how I look at tarot and how I feel that you should look at it. So in other words, as I give you these readings, regardless of which group that you belong to and you resonate with, If something doesn't sound as if it resonates with you at first and it doesn't sound right, or put it off so quickly, try to accept it, see where it fits, but keep in mind that it doesn't have to be written in stone. See it in such a way where you have to use your free will. That Spencer gave me a tarot. This is you doing like a soliloquy with yourself. You go, look, if Spencer did a tarot reading for me and he says that I need to watch my hygiene or something like that. Well, what you're going to do is that you're going to be very mindful of the month of October, and you're going to make sure that you don't fall into pitfalls that would, include your hygiene. You get what I'm trying to say? Because it is a heads up. It's not telling you what to do. Use it as a guideline. I wanted to say that, get that out the way, so that when you look at my tarot reading, excuse me, my mouth is, boy, I know what's wrong with me today. But when you deal with tarot, you're going to take it as guidelines, please. All right. Now let's get started. Let's get into group one. Now in group one, we have this lovely card. This lovely card is the abundance card, and it's also called the prosperity card. And I love that word prosperity. Keep that in mind as I read the quotation of it. It says, and I quote, "The universe is pouring its abundance out to you. Be open to receiving." I like that, because the reason why I say that I like that is because when I think about prosperity, abundance, it could be anything. It doesn't have to just be monetary gain. And when I think about prosperity, I think about you individuals that belong in this particular group that resonate with you, is that if you keep an open mind of what that is and you have a more or a surplus of something, you want to make sure that you be balanced in that regard, because sometimes when we have more of something, we tend to be, I guess, lackadaisical. We tend not to work as hard, and we just go, whatever. We don't want to get into that motion, because the reason why I say that is because those who resonate with this particular group, keep in mind that you have this tarot. It's a major arcana, which is the Wheel of Fortune card. And like the Wheel of Fortune card, and I connect that with the theme of group one, which is the prosperity, you guys in this group, the energies that I'm feeling is, though you may get abundance or prosperity, either it be monetary gain, you may have more love in your life, or whatever it may be, because you worked hard for it. Please keep in mind that you have to be balanced. You have to be balanced. Meaning, when you think about the Wheel of Fortune, isn't it true that it will pick up and then drop off the good and the bad? In fact, if you're balanced enough, you're articulate enough, you start to realize that that's how life works. Life works that way. And what that means is, well, instead of living in your head only, going, boy, I hope she comes back to me, because that tarot reading that Spencer has given me is that I'm going to get an abundance. I'm going to get prosperity this month, so she's going to love me this much. Well, that could be definitely true, and it could definitely apply. But if you're living in your head and you're not really understanding the meaning of the Wheel of Fortune or prosperity, and you're not being balanced, then we could fall into some sort of pit of our own making. We could self-sabotage ourselves. And that's energy that I get from this group, because though you have a very good reading in this particular group, the energy here is saying that you're not doing a lot of intellectual thinking, which leads me to the next card. And this arcana is the Moon card. It's a major arcana that says that there's something deceptive going on in this particular group. Now, it could be that in this particular group, you're very used to listening by the book on what others tell you, and you go based off of that. Or you tend to say your own truth, and you just ignore everything else on what others want to interpret for you. In other words, as they're trying to interpret matters their own way, how about we just slow down and we try to hear them out? Because if I had an abundance of everything, I want to see balance. I want to seek some sort of place in my life where if I have an abundance of something, I want to rationalize and put whatever I have that is an excess or a surplus in its proper place. You see? And that's what the moon card is dictating with you guys in group 3. You're intuitive, but yet it could backfire, because when you think about the moon card, you think about it being nighttime, the moonlight is shining, but yet there are certain areas in this particular outdoors environment that you, the individual, you're navigating, but you're navigating without a flashlight, and that kind of bothers me. The energy is irritating me now, because that tells me that you have no flashlight and you're not really thinking about what the darkness is, well, hiding. Because intuition is a very powerful thing, but no one, not even myself, should tell you that you should live only on intuition by itself. In other words, where's the intellect? You know what I mean? And when you fall into a pit, or one of those animals or nightmare creatures come out from the dark, and they hurt you, they harm you, you may not die from it, but it's going to harm you because you self-sabotage yourself. You see how that particular group in group 3, it just resonates, because when I spoke with Hecate, she helped me to appreciate those who fall in this particular group. And mind you, she knows what she's talking about, because she is the torchbearer of the underworld. So she would know better to navigate, or how to navigate through the underworld or through the darkness. See how there's a good tie between this pick a card and the goddess I work with, Hecate? And that's why that if you pay attention to what's being said in this particular group, then you're going to treat it as a guideline. You're going to be mindful throughout the whole entire month of October, like, hey, look, I need to think more. It's good to have intuition, but I need to rely on intellect, because it's dark out there. Where's my flashlight? I don't want anything to harm me. And then to summarize, it's the same thing that comes full circle right back to the abundance. If I get a surplus, I need to think about it. I don't want to just be in my head canon all the time, or just be intuitive and then just splurge. We end up getting hurt, like the animal that's in the dark, that's there to harm us. Okay? So that is really how I summarize group 3. It's a very good reading for you guys. You want to be on the lookout of prosperity coming in many various forms. Either it be monetary gain, you become a lot more sociable. It's really a general reading, and it's something that if this resonates with you, please be mindful and be safe. Okay? And lastly, before I end you with group 3, keep in mind this point. After you're done with this reading, I will go to astro.com, and on websites like that, what those sites do is that it helps you to appreciate your rising signs, your moon, and your sun sign. So that way you get more fuller, in-depth reading in connection to what I just told you, okay? And I'm saying that because we don't get that a lot when it comes to tarot readers. Or they do, but it'll be too much to put in just one video, to go through someone's transit and so forth, and their houses and so forth. Talk about the tropical readings. It gets very, not convoluted, but it could be. It's potentially very disastrous if you're not careful. So therefore, that's why I say go to astro.com. It's right here on the screen, so you don't have to do much work in the spelling. Type it up and it'll do the rest for you. Okay guys, peace and enjoy your reading. Okay, welcome to group 2. Now you guys that resonated in group 2 is quite the group. Why? Notice what I'm picking up here. You have this card. This one represents independence. And it says, to quote, "Your independence is a foundation for your strength and success." I find that to be very important because when I was communicating with Hecate, on how to do this reading with all three groups, and thinking about those, that are potentially going to watch this video in the future, or even in the month of October, which is primarily the target. She helped me to appreciate that in this group, the individuals that belong to this, it is specifically to the feminine divine. Notice that I say those who could relate to the feminine. I say that because that could be just about anyone. And you relate to it, then it's for you, especially if it's something that you feel your spirit guides had directed you to group 2. You're in this group, it resonates with you, and this is something that Hecate helped me to appreciate, that this is specifically tailored for those specific people. Now, since I got that out the way, I know I just went on in a little bit of a tangent with it, but let's get to it. When I opened up with that card, that oracle card, it spoke about independence. And if you took, let's say, your mouse and you went over to that pause button to actually look at that card, it showed a goddess, a woman that is free falling. And I find that to be quite interesting, because when someone is free falling, I think of freedom. I think of someone that has their own, yes, guess what? Their own independence. You see, Hecate helped me to appreciate those who fit in this group. Though you have independence, a lot of people don't know that, especially you guys in this group. In other words, you have a struggling with either your own feminine divine, who you are, yes, and that's right, your own sexuality, gender. It's saying that it is okay. See, Hecate is saying through these cards is that though you have some sort of struggle, you could still do it. Look within yourself and find that independence to be outspoken. Okay, and there's other feminine divine goddesses such as Lilith and Centimorte, and the list just goes on forever, to Aphrodite, to Diana, Freya, and you know what I mean? I could go on and on and on and on. Whoever it is you connect with, they will tell you. And as a male witch myself, I have Hecate as a goddess, and I could also benefit from it, even though I don't relate completely to the feminine divine in that sense of the way, even though my goddess is in fact feminine, right? So for you guys in this group, the energies that I'm feeling, I had to take a while to have it like sit within me, and as I'm trying to fill out each emotion, each energy, I sense and I feel a lot of sadness, and I feel hesitation. Like those in this particular group, when it comes to very sensitive subjects like sexuality, gender, you don't know where you belong. You feel that as you progress in life, the less other people care about you, less people understand. And then it kind of hampers your confidence and you can't move forward, because if you don't fit in, then where do you believe? Or should I say, where do you belong? And that could be quite troublesome for many individuals that fit under that category. And to further it, I see here that you have a reverse Hierophant card, right? So you see it in reverse. You can pause the video to look at that card in reverse if you want. And remember, connecting with Hecate and looking at each group, that makes a lot of sense of the reverse Hierophant, because the reverse Hierophant is someone who is very dogmatic. they're a cookie cutter, and they're someone that wants to stick by the letter. If that's what it says, that's what it is. So that helps me to understand the negative energies that I feel, because you're trying to stick to the status quo. You're being like your own enemy. You're saying because society says that this is how it is, then I must meet that status quo. And you're being very deliberate about it. But yet you're not aware of how much pain that you're causing yourself, because you're not looking at your inner goddess. You're not looking at time of self-care, self-improvement, putting some salt within your baths, and really getting rid of that excess energy that does not need to be within your body, namely the negative energies. And you're not spending time with your crystals. You're really spending time for other people. But what about yourself? You see, when I was deeply speaking with Hecate about this, there was not much I could do about it but listen to what she has to say, because again, I'm a male witch. And when she told me to make a video to you individuals, my heart broke. It sank, because it's one of the few times that I have to tell you that when I work with the dead and when they really become depressing and sad, you could feel that. And that's what I get here. That's why I know I feel as if I'm speaking in circles. I hope I'm not, but it's one of those things where I just can't help it. I really just can't help it, because it bothers me that I have to talk about something that a group of people are suffering from. You understand? That bothers me. Any human being would feel that way. I don't care what group you belong with. It'd be a national group, your color, your skin, gender, all that. If you follow the Kabbalah or Hermetic teaching rather, it speaks about the law of gender, and how everything has gender and so forth. You should look into that, because it helps you to appreciate that you're not only defined by your physicality of your body. And that's what came to mind when I looked at you guys in group 2. I thought about Hermeticism and the law of gender, and I put it there on the screen so that you guys understand which topic you could Google real quick and see how that affects you and how that could mold your thinking so that you could be more confident and sure of yourself. And you don't have to fit a society that is very misogynist, and it's something that if you don't fit in, then they're going to bombard you, force you almost for a change. Now, what's next up is, in this particular deck here, is, well, yeah, kind of overspoken. I got so much into the whole, I guess, the rhythm of things. I thought there was another card for you guys, but there's not. Most of you guys' cards is pretty short, it's to the point. But yet, either there's another card or not, it just makes me feel really, really bad, because you're suffering. You know what I mean? If an animal gets hit by a car, would you not feel sad for it? Would you not cry? Would you not want to be there to help that poor animal? And that's how I feel with individuals that belong in group 2 that are in fact suffering. Please connect more with your goddesses. And if you need professional help, reach out, do that. If you need to email even me, okay, we could do that. Communicate. Do not give up. Think about your feminine divine within you, the goddess that you are, okay? So please, I love every single one of you, and I hope that you just follow what it is that I say as a guideline and then follow through, okay? Now, as I conclude with you guys, as I did with the previous group, I'll say this. Go to astro.com, it's on the screen, and what you're going to do is go to that particular site and look at such things as your transit, your sun sign, the moon, and all these other things that could also facilitate even more so your reading. Because the one that I did right now, it's more to the point. I connected with the goddess Hecate so that I could reach out to you guys, so that I could look at a particular group and try to make them more aware, more conscientious of their own goddesshood, okay? But like I said, go to that site, get a better, fuller reading is what I should say. Not better, as if mine is not good, but a more fuller reading, okay? I love every single one of you guys. Bye. Hello to every single one of you in group 3. Now, I have to say this. Your group is actually really good. And I feel that I fit into this particular group too, for a very good reason. And before I continue on, I want to first help you to appreciate the opening card, the oracle card that is, before I get into the other cards, which are for the tarot deck. I want to first show you this one, okay? This is the Butterfly Maiden card. It's a goddess card that, when looking upon it, you could understand very quickly. If you're used to the esoteric teaching, the occult, you realize that when you mention butterfly, or even if you look at other, animals of the earth, like you think about a cicada. Like I have a pet tarantula, and it molts. So it gets out of its molt and that transformation to leave its past behind to start anew. So that's pretty much what you guys are going with, okay? And I'm gonna read it. It says, you are experiencing enormous change right now, which brings you great blessings. And I like that, because you guys have something good waiting for you. It's like a long time coming for you guys, because you worked hard all season long, and now it's time to reap what you sow, as the saying goes, right? But you know what? I thought was really good, because I always love to balance out my tarot readings. Because when I'm speaking with Hecate, when it comes to this particular reading, it helps me to appreciate that you guys in this particular group, you are either very confident in your abilities or you're not. So it's primarily, we're gonna juggle both, bear with me, but this is what Hecate is telling me, and this is the energies that I feel now. I feel someone who's very prideful, and I can relate because I'm a Leo. And being prideful, being that fire sign, you want to get it. Believe me, I know it. I'm a go-getter. But yet, when you look at such a card, let me just go to it. It shows here the Emperor. See here, the Emperor card? You can pause it there to look at that card. And it just facilitates what I'm saying. You're the Emperor. You're that person like myself that you feel like you're on that throne, and you have that fatherly qualities about yourself, and you want to take the lead in things. And you're going to delegate. You're going to put your authority to each group or individual as need be. Now, this could apply to your job. It could apply to your life at home, your social circles, just about anything. Because when we are talking about someone who has that emperor-like energy, that fiery energy, I'm also thinking about someone that they should see the bigger picture. Because what I'm trying to say is that if you have a transformation and you compare that with the Butterfly Maiden card, I'm sorry for the cut in group 3, but I'm going to continue it by simply saying, look, keep in mind that being an emperor, there is nothing wrong with saying that I cannot do something or I don't have that ability. You have to learn to delegate. That's why the energies that I feel in group 3 with the Emperor, you guys seem to be as if you are a leader of some sort. You most likely have your own business. you are perhaps even a teacher, something that would take the lead and have others to follow you. But remember, if you feel too embarrassed to, I guess, to say that you don't know something, just admit it. Just say that you don't know. Because remember, if you think about what's going on in your spread, you have the devil card. And in this devil card, it tells me that when people are hanging on to something, almost addicted to something, they have a pattern that ends up hurting them. I mean, think about it for a second. If you are the teacher and you take the lead in a classroom, would your students respect you if you say, look, I don't know, perhaps I'll do research myself, and then perhaps some other time I'll get back with you? Or would you just say something that's really not so accurate to only spread misinformation? It's just, you would have to know how to judge that. And I would strongly, and I mean strongly recommend, try to just take it back some. Because with that devil card, it's a forewarning. It's telling you, and even myself, because I include myself in this spread, that you need to take it easy. We can't be too prideful of ourselves that we are above like advice, we're above authority. In fact, we may see ourselves as being the authority because our accomplishments, we have so much, so we feel that it's our way or the highway. But we need to also be modest. And once you're modest and you got that going for you, then that's when you know that life is not all about I have all the answers. It's really about making those mistakes, learning from them, and then going on from there as well. You see, and as your tarot reader, I strongly advise, please be modest and be careful. Be aware of these pitfalls, because remember, the Emperor card is also about looking at his kingdom and providing for them. In order to serve, he also remembers first that he, or let's say even a sheep, because you have those who take the lead who are females, right? But even though that's more with the Empress card, but you get my point. I'm trying to just broaden it out. But the point is, even before that Emperor or Empress had the ability to basically to have such an authority, they have the ability to also to serve. You know what I mean? They work hand in hand. So that's why I say, remember to be modest and don't let your pride take the best of you, because this month of October, you want to be mindful of that, okay? And that is practically it when it comes to the third group. When it comes to this pick a card, I'm very happy that you're able to look at this pick a card, and hopefully that it resonates with you. And then on top of that, as I said with the other groups, please, if you want a fuller, let's say, tarot reading, go to astro.com. Yes, it's on the screen. What you do is tap it up in your internet browser, and you could get a lot more information. I just can't, considering that it would just take too much time in a video just to go through someone's houses, and that's more on a one-on-one anyway, a one-on-one basis. Like on that site, you put in your information, and it will help you to understand your transit, which planet is in which house. You have your sun sign and moon sign, your rising signs, ascendant, descendant, all these things that can give you a more fuller understanding on your destiny, if you will. So please, just follow through and see what astrology has for you, okay? So with that said, I love every single one of you. I hope that you love this pick a card.